Why won't I jump on the bang on black Christian bandwagon? When I first heard conscious people talking, it resonated with me. Because they were saying what the black Christians that I was exposed to coming up were doing. It was the black Christians in the South that taught me the importance of work, that taught me the importance of community, that taught me the importance of family. It was black Christians that took me in when I had nowhere to live, when I was homeless. It was black Christians that fed me when I had no food. It was black Christians that first taught me to study and be proud of black history. I'm sorry that many of you haven't had that experience. And I did come up out the church for my own reasons that I'm not going to go into in this video, because this video is about defending black Christians. Because anybody can bash and bang on their family. You grow up in your family, you love your family, but at the same time, you got dirt on your family. You can leave your family if you want to, based on the dirt you have on your family. But I got news for you. It don't matter what club you in. And I tell people this all the time. You're going to find the same positives and the same negatives, because you're dealing with human nature. You're going to find love and happiness and joy and charity. And you're going to find meanness, sadness, depression, anger, and selfishness. No matter what club you in, you're going to find these things. Some of y'all say we need to be atheists. A lot of these white people that's crushing your behind don't even believe in God. They atheists. Your biggest problem is white imperialism, white supremacy, Arab supremacy. And that you don't mind, because we are a content people. Contentment is happiness. We can make anything work. We can make the situation work, but we have a responsibility on the planet to save the planet from white supremacy. White supremacy is the biggest pandemic in the history of the world. There is no other pandemic or epidemic that is greater and has a greater impact than white supremacy. Not AIDS, not Ebola, none of them have a greater impact on the world than white supremacy. White supremacy affects all the way down to the floor of the ocean and all the way to the top of the atmosphere. Everything in nature is affected adversely by white supremacy. So Christianity is not my problem. Islam is not my problem. Judaism is not my problem. Buddhism or none of the other religions are my problem. The only problem that I have with black people that are religious is that they tend to hold their religion in greater importance than saving the planet from white supremacy, saving the planet from the beast. We have a responsibility to do this. So if you're a Christian, I can work with you. If you're a Muslim, I can work with you. If you're a Hebrew, I can work with you. If you're from the east, the west, the north, the south, I can work with you. I don't care what walk of life you're in. As long as it doesn't threaten black independence, then I can work with you. So it's white supremacy that infuses itself into Christianity that's a problem. When you find Arab supremacy and white supremacy in Islam, then that's a problem. But Islam itself is not a problem. Christianity itself is not a problem. Of course, there's certain aspects of all schools of thought that you can find fault with if you're open and honest with yourself. But the school of thought itself is not the issue. We need to learn to respect more action than dogma. We need to learn to respect, have a greater respect for those that put in work than those that just talk about it. I studied a lot of Christian history in America, black Christian history in America, because I keep hearing all these people regurgitating something that their teachers taught them. And I have teachers that taught me that Christianity was ridiculous. But then I studied other religions and said, Christianity is no more ridiculous than these other religions. And these other religions are no more ridiculous than democracy. Huh? You can find fault in any school of thought. The devil knows this, if you want to use the term devil. I don't like to use the term devil, but that's your language. I use the term, according to the Yakawu, Intuaku, the supreme evil. You can measure supreme evil. You can look at it and say, is there anything else that's more evil than this? And as the Bible says, you shall know them by their fruits, right? Again, you can find positive and negative in any school of thought. I'm not going to bash black Christians, but I will bash those that are conscious of being a black white supremacist. I'm not even going to bash those that are unconsciously white supremacists, because they don't know what they're doing. If Jesus, since we're talking about defending Christianity, if Jesus can say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing, why can't we say that about these black white supremacists who are unconsciously white supremacists? Why can't we have patience and mercy and tolerance when it comes to our ignorant people? So I'll bash black white supremacists, but I'll try my best to only bash those black white supremacists that are conscious of the fact that they are black white supremacists. Consciously proud to be a black white supremacist. And try to recruit more black white supremacists. I don't have no problem bashing them, but don't ask me to bash a black Christian. Whenever I see the whole crowd going this way, I take a step back and say, hold up. Why is everybody going that way? Let me do my own little investigation. So that's why when we talk about Marcus Garvey, those that are bashing the hell out of Christianity, they don't even want to admit that Marcus Garvey himself was a Christian. When I hear the black conscious community beating the hell out of black Muslims, they forget, or they seem to forget anyway, that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, the Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, and even Farrakhan, for those of you that really respect and love Farrakhan for what he's done for our people. It's easy to say, what has Farrakhan done? Anybody can criticize, but who's going to put that work in? All of them were Muslims. How am I stand here and bash Muslims? and bash black Muslims. I don't have no problem bashing a black Muslim that believes in Arab supremacy, that practices Arab supremacy, that practices white supremacy. But I'm not going to bash a Muslim that's black just because they're a black Muslim. That don't make no sense to me. I'm not going to follow the crowd. Never have followed the crowd. It was black Christians that beat the hell out of the French, beat the hell out of the white man in Haiti, crushed white supremacy. It was black Christians that helped to do that. I'm not saying that there weren't black people that believed in voodoo and practiced voodoo, because there were. And there may have even been some black Muslims in there. I don't know, and neither do you. We can only speculate. We assume it was just voodoo and Christian. But as I said before, the black soul cannot be destroyed. It can't be destroyed. The mentality can be destroyed, but the black soul is indestructible. So when I look at basketball and you see that black soul in the hole, it's like, there you go. If I decide to watch a football game, or I don't even watch a whole football game, but I might look at the highlights, because I get to see that black soul power in the football game. Got black scientists that I study. You say, who, Doc? Who? Doctor Who? He went to where? Those ain't the black scientists I'm talking about. I'm talking about black scientists like my son. I'm talking about black scientists like the one I see when I look in the mirror. I say, there go that soul. Huh? I love to see black soul power. Or as President General Senghor of the UNIA-ACL says, I love to see that blacktricity. I love to see it. Huh? I don't have a problem with black Christians. I don't have a problem with black Muslims. I don't even have a problem with black white supremacists that are ignorant of the fact that they're black white supremacists. Since we're talking about defending Christianity, didn't Jesus say, Father, forgive them as they killed this man? As according to the story, y'all. I ain't here to debate none of y'all whether the story is true or not true, or whether it's a fable or whatever it is. According to the story, as they killing this man, he says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Why can't we have a forgiving heart when it comes to black white supremacists that are unconscious of the fact that they are black white supremacists? I'm not saying to go to your grave because of these unconscious black white supremacists. We need you alive so that you can help us to be independent from Arab supremacy and white supremacy and any other supremacy other than black. Okay? I'm not saying to allow these folks to kill you, but I am saying that you got to have patience with these people. They don't know what's going on. That's why y'all call them the masses of asses. They have no clue of what's going on. You'll see them marched out in front of you when we explode, because we see white supremacy rearing its ugly head. Then you'll see these black white supremacists come out and say, come on, brothers and sisters, let's calm down. Let's let the system work. Justice will prevail. Justice don't have nothing to do with the white man's law. But I don't want to stray too much now. We're talking about defending black Christianity. We're talking about defending black Christians. have more of a reason to defend black Christians than to bash black Christians. And I'm not going to spend all my time bashing no black Christians. That's just the trend. That's what a lot of black conscious people like to do. But then I find that many of the so-called black conscious people that are bashing black Christians, they just weren't fortunate enough to have the kind of experience I've had with black Christians. Again, it was black Christians that first taught me to study black history. It was black Christians that first taught me how to love my black self. It was black Christians that first taught me the importance of family. It was black Christians that first taught me the importance of community. It was black Christians that first taught me the importance of hard work. It was black Christians that first taught me about black independence. And so when I see the crowd of black conscious individuals walking in this direction to trample all over black Christians, I said, let me do a little study of history myself. And then I find that the black conscious community, many of them will tell you, I don't want to hear about that slavery shit. I want to hear about when we was kings. First of all, let me tell y'all this real quick. Everybody wasn't a damn king. It was only one king at a time in a nation. Everybody want to be a king. Everybody is not a damn king. Just think about it. Meditate on that for a minute. Everybody's not a king. Everybody is not a queen. Everybody is important. Everybody has a role to play. But they say, we need to ignore that slavery stuff. I don't want to hear about people getting hanged and whooped and beat. That's the story that somebody's telling you. All these movies that show that aspect of slavery. That's why you don't want to see it. But when we going to make a movie about the black Maroons that was fighting white supremacy, fighting physically, at war with white supremacy, from at least 1675 all the way up through the end of slavery. That era of slavery, because we still enslaved. We're still under white supremacy. But from 1675 all the way through really the early 20th century and all the way up through the 60s. See, y'all don't know about this stuff. Our people was fighting against white supremacy. But every year, they'll show you these civil rights, nonviolent civil rights people to reinforce in your mind that you should just turn the other cheek, and that ain't never worked. Y'all keep giving President Abraham Lincoln the credit for freeing the slaves. Y'all keep forgetting that the North wasn't beating the South. But once them black people got them guns in their hand and went to war, the war was over in less than a year. Huh? These are facts. And many of them people were Christians. Many of them people ain't had no idea what Islam was. They knew what freedom was. See, you can be a Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist. It don't matter what your religion is. As long as you know that you need to be free and you're willing to fight for freedom. That's why I'm not going to bash no black Christians. Only thing that gets bashed is white supremacy. Yellow, red, black, and white supremacists. We're going to bash all of them. But ain't no need to bash no Christianity, no black Christians. It's white supremacy that's infused with all these things that is the problem. White supremacy is the biggest pandemic in the history of the world. It affects all the way down to the floor of the ocean, to the top of the atmosphere. And you want us to focus on a book? Yeah, the Bible got us thinking in a way that we're not going to fight. Ask Nat Turner if we're not going to fight. Ask Denmark Vesey if we not going to fight. Ask those black Maroons who were Christian, some of them, if we not going to fight for freedom just because we Christian. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Ask Marcus Garvey if we're not going to be on the path to independence just because we Christian. That don't make no sense at all. And many of us want to bash black Muslims. How are we going to bash black Muslims? How many of y'all have forgotten about the Christian-Muslim alliance? Black Muslims who were able to escape to Ethiopia, a Christian nation, a black Christian nation. We don't talk about those things. We only want to talk about that which is going to have us at each other's throat. We all got differences. We can be in the same clique and have differences. Look at the black conscious community. A brother just hit me to a video. I don't even want to put names out there. Dang. I'm really not trying to do that. But some of y'all might know what I'm talking about. Somebody shared with me a video with some brothers in Philadelphia who were in the same clique. Now they beefing. Now they at each other's throats. Now they kicking dirt on each other. And they supposed to be leaders, and people that are following them are observing this. But you find the same positives and negatives no matter what camp you in. No matter what club you belong to, whether it's the Christian club, the Muslim club, the black conscious club, the black atheist club, you find the same positives and negatives because you're talking about human nature. But I say, despite all of our differences, we need to focus, as Dr. Naeem Akbar told us so many years ago. We need to kill the white man that has set up headquarters in our minds. Because at this point, all of the white people can drop dead today. And the programmed self-destructive behavior will still go on because the white supremacy programming has not been deprogrammed. It's still in your mind. So that's the first thing we got to do, is kill the white man that has set up headquarters in your mind. But black Christians are not the problem. Black Muslims are not the problem. Arab imperialism, white supremacy, those are problems we're going to have to deal with. Black self-hate is a problem we're going to have to deal with. The white man and woman does not love you more than your damn parents. We need to stop being so illogical and emotional. You think because the white man, some people keep telling me that the white man and white woman has given them more than any black person has ever given them? Do you think the white man and white woman love you more than your parents, fool? And I give you $5. You think I really did something. But if your mama got $2 and gives you $1, don't you realize your mama gave you more than I gave you? But we're too emotionally attached to white supremacy to think clearly. You know that emotions tend to cloud the judgment. So we need to learn to harness our emotions and not be controlled by our emotion. We need to think more logically and clearly. We don't need to bash black Christians, but we could point out to some of our black Christian brothers and sisters how white supremacy has infiltrated their faith. We can do the same thing for our black Muslim brothers and sisters, as white supremacy and Arab supremacy has infiltrated Islam. So let's not bash our brothers and sisters that are on some type of path towards enlightenment. Let's help them. Let's be merciful. Some of the kindest people I've ever known have been black Christians. Some of the kindest people I've ever known have been black Muslims. And some of the biggest assholes I've ever met have been people that consider themselves black and conscious. We need to go back and understand the power of just being nice. Even the devil knows and understands that. The Akawu tells us that the devil is kind and polite because he knows that the people are ruled by their emotions. So we're not going to join the bandwagon of banging on black Christians. Instead, we're going to be more unifying than divisive. Anybody can be divisive. I got on black shoes, you got on red shoes. You talking about the fact that I got on black shoes. I'm talking about the fact that you got on red shoes. But the wise person is going to say, make sure you got your shoes laced up. We going into battle. And you need to have your shoes securely on your feet. And a wise person is saying the enemy is over there, fool. Focus. Focus on your enemy. And stop focusing on things that are going to keep us fighting each other. This has been Daku Akabo Wakatu.